It feels like landing. It's round. It looks like roundish, like a round planet. It's the surface of the soil. It's kind of the end of this surface of this planet or whatever. It's a different atmosphere of this place. It's not like the Earth. So if I look down, I see the slight arc of the ground.
What do you mean?
It's as if it were like if you're on the surface of a bowl of a planet bed, which is very small.
I see.
And then you see the arc, kind of like it's. You don't see it flat. You kind of already feel that it's round.
Okay, so could that be that you're watching this from a distance?
No, it's me. It's like I'm part of it. I'm part of this.
All right. Okay.
Surface. I'm like, my leg feels like kind of a mountain. It's kind of vast. It's kind of within.
Is there any vegetation?
Just a bit like moss. Where my heart is. Where my heart is.
Your heart?
Yeah, feeling like my body. So if my body was this planet, it's like around my heart. And it would be this grassy land.
How does it feel to be this, if you want to call it a planet?
It feels good, but it's huge. It's kind of it's not infinite, but it's really it's ongoing. I can see me very in a kind of like my feet are like miles away. So it's like mountains and valleys and hills, and that's all kind of also me. So it's beautiful. It's kind of like just a state of being without processing or something.
Tell me about this state of being. How would you describe it?
It's very old.
Old?
I can feel sadness when I say it's old.
You feel sadness when you say it?
Yeah, tears are coming. Because I think it's really old. It's been there a long time.
And why does it make you emotional? Tell me about it.
It's been waiting.
It's been waiting. What is it waiting? What was it waiting for?
I cannot tell. It's something about this age. It's ancient. It's something very ancient. So maybe there was life in ancient times. Maybe I can see people there, but it's a long time ago. I can now see trees. The trees. I think there is a road there along the forest. I'm not sure if there are many people or a few people.
There are a few people, you say?
Maybe, yes.
How do these people look like?
They have very round faces, kind of brownish skin.
Do they wear anything on their body?
Like brown clothes. Then they're pulling like wagons, wooden wagons.
Why are they pulling these wagons?
They're going somewhere, as if they were. No, they're not nomads. They are going from one place to the other. Maybe they're refugees. They kind of look like humans, but they have more yellowish skin, kind of not very earth-like skin. But
how many fingers in their hands, in the palms?
Maybe 4, but it's like, I don't know, like separated, like 2 and 2.
The surface of the skin, how is it? Smooth, scaly?
It's smooth, but they're like, it's yellow greenish. Yeah.
And have a look at their face. How do their eyes look like?
They're a bit higher than usual, than I know.
Size?
Rather big eyes.
What shape?
The shape of a fish. The eyebrows are very dark, very strong eyebrows.
The color of the eyes? Or how is the eye looking inside?
It's kind of very dark.
And inside, is it round or is it a different shape?
It's round, but there is no iris because all is black, so it's kind of black. And the pupil is also black, so you cannot see the iris.
All right, very good.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see nose?
Yeah, it's rather small nose. Doesn't stand out very much. It's more like 2 holes. It's a bit. Yeah.
But they breathe from the nose?
I guess they do, yeah.
The mouth? How is it? Big, small?
It's rather big, quite hairy, but it's not like a moustache. It's more like animals or dogs have hair around the mouth. It's like...
Okay. What kind of hair do they have around? Like more like a fair kind of?
No, they have like black hair, like Asian hair. Straight hair kind of going down. They have very neat haircut around the face, so it's very straight. A bit like a monk haircut, but it's black hair. The ears are kind of okay, they are definitely different. The ears they have, it's more like, well, a cat's ear or like, yeah. So the ear is kind of, it's not round, it's going like upwards, ears.
Pointing?
Yeah, pointing.
Are they on the sides of their head or on the top? Which size? Which height?
It's almost on the top, so it's further up than we have them. It's not on the side, so it's...
not so much like a human, more like a cat.
Yeah.
All right.
And quite far back, so it's a very round face, shape of the head.
Yes.
And ear and black hair, and the face is kind of yellowish, greenish. And these black eyes.
Anything else that stands out that you want to add?
They look... No.
How do they communicate with each other?
They seem to communicate with their bodies because they're moving a lot, but not only to move their stuff, but they are kind of all the time agitating with their bodies, so I cannot hear anything, but I think that's how they communicate.
What else?
They seem to be moving in a strange way.
More? Sorry?
They seem to be moving in a strange way. They need a lot of movements to get forward. There's something about their legs or feet.
What is it?
So they're not leveled out. It's like they had to kind of move on different levels to get forward. So it kind of makes it like if you have a table with different lengths of legs. So it's kind of very awkward how they move. As if they were handicapped or something, or if they had one shorter leg and then had to kind of limp. So it's a limpy way of moving.
Why is that? Is it that in fact their feet are not equal length, or is it just the style of moving their bodies?
It's their bodies. They have kind of very strange feet, and their limbs are kind of very elastic, and so it's different. I don't know if they have bones carrying them, so it's It's their way of kind of moving and proceeding. So it's not unnatural for them, but it looks kind of very bumpy, and I'm watching them, yes.
How do you look like? Do you feel like you're a part of them?
No, actually they were looking at me before. I feel like maybe I have grey hair. I'm taller than them. I'm a man. I'm aside from the road.
Do you look like them or
No,
different?
no, different. It's also different kind of aura that I have. It's like more bluish and yeah, I guess blue and white rather.
Your skin, what color is it?
It looks like sand color.
Are you wearing anything on your body?
No, my body it's more like the body of a reptile, I guess. Yeah, I guess it fits a reptile more.
What makes you say that?
Because it's almost like a normal.
Very
And
scaly.
Yeah, my breast part, yeah, it's kind of very strong. It's more like a tortoise belly part armor. Yeah.
The head?
No, kind of this hard part. So
What shape is your head?
my head, it's like a head, but it's a bit more edgy. The eyes are on the side. I have like a bird, kind of, the nose, mouth, but I'm sure it's not a bird, but it's maybe like a...
More elongated in the front.
Yeah, exactly.
How do your eyes look like? Have a look inside.
They are the eyes of maybe an eagle, or I can see like pupil is kind of like very white openings, and it's brownish, grayish, and...
What shape is it? Is it like a slit or is it round?
It's round, but there is no white.
And you mentioned you have some kind of hair.
I thought it was hair, but it could also be feathers. It's kind of white on top of my head.
Long or short?
It's kind of short, maybe like 5 centimeters, and it's feathers, but looking like hairs, if that makes sense.
Is this the only place where these feathers exist in your body?
These white feathers, yes. I think on the back I have brownish feathers, a bit thicker, but it's not like covered like a bird's feather, so it's really like you can see the single feathers standing out of a rather thick skin, which on the back is kind of brownish, in front it's bluish. I feel I have a tail kind of like pointing, so it's all like from my nose and then to the tail, so it might be like a dinosaur or kind of something like that.
How do you feel in this body?
I feel very strong, in a sense of it gives me a good protection without being hard. I feel good. I feel kind of elevated, because watching those other creatures, I was kind of feeling safe and watching from outside down.
Why are you watching those beings?
I don't know what they're doing and why they're doing this, so they look kind of like strangers. They are moving from a place where there's a lot of light, and they understand now that they have to move, so it's kind of a very big movement from their tribe to somewhere else, and I can understand. There's kind of this understanding or this knowledge. I know they have to do that. It's maybe something about the planet.
They have to move away from the planet or in another area of the planet?
To another area. And something is telling me that before, when I saw that planet being very dry and without life, maybe that was the future that I was seeing of that planet.
So something happened to this planet?
Yeah.
Something is happening now. It's going to happen, and they have to. Why are they moving?
Yes. I think it's very hot. There is this very bright light where they're moving from. So it could be fire. So it could be very hot there, or it's a very, very strong light. So they're moving from there, and there are many, many, many people or beings. I'm more from the woods, so I have still the protection of the woods. I'm coming out of these woods, and so there it's cooler. But I know there's this movement.
What are you gonna do? Let's see what happens next. Are you also moving somewhere else, or what are you doing?
I am going back to the woods.
Is that where you live?
Yes, that's where I live. There's something of the roots of the trees. Maybe it's what I live from.
You eat them?
I make fire from them. Maybe I eat them, but right now I use them for making fire. I have a house there.
How does your house look like?
It's almost like the roots of the tree. Maybe it's even the tree has built with its roots the house. I didn't cut. I didn't cut the tree. It's natural.
Okay, so you found a shelter there.
Yeah, but I think the tree has built it for me. So I think I'm very much connected to the trees. So speaking of the trees, I can feel a lot of energy flowing through my body. So.
You communicate with the trees?
I think I am, yeah.
How
There's
do you
a
do
lot
that?
through my body, right now through the back of my body.
The back of your body?
And my calves, my bottom, my back. And they're giving me a lot of energy and force and also light. They're giving me a lot of light. So it's like electricity, like going back and forth, like many lightnings.
They give you light?
Yeah, it's like
visible light, or it's just energy?
It's like lightning energy.
You see it with physical, or it's just energy, it's invisible?
I can see it, my eyes can kind of see it, but I can also feel it through the back of my body. So.
And why do the plants give you this light?
It's like a symbiosis. We exchange. I think I give them the information. It's just so outside the forest.
They are interested in what's going on outside?
I think so, yes. I give it to them, and they give me their energy. It's kind of the source. And they're very much connected with the earth, so they go very deep, the roots. But also they are outside of the ground, so the trees only start after maybe 2 meters, and so that's why I can live in their roots, but I live not in the earth. I live within their outer roots.
You say they are connected with the planet?
Yeah, they have very deep roots. So the whole forest, it's like it's not one tree, it's like the forest is one tree, so every tree is connected to the other one. And it's a lot of energy between them and me, so it's still ongoing like this. It's like a download.
So let's close that scene and let's move forward to another important day in this life that you are now viewing. We are now moving forward to another important day.
So I'm again outside the forest. So now I'm alone. There are no other creatures. I'm sitting on a tree or next to a tree, but it's a solitude tree. I'm facing this light I was looking at before, this sun, but it's not so strong anymore, and it's very calm again. It's quiet, and I'm just sitting there in the sun, leaning against this tree. I don't know if it's the only tree left. Maybe it might be. Maybe this is kind of the remains of the huge forest there used to be, because it looks kind of dead. There was a drought, so the roots were exposed to too much sun, and they dried. The trees dried.
But you managed to survive.
Sorry?
You managed to survive.
I managed to survive, but I'm not that strong anymore.
Okay, I see. And let's drift away from that scene now. And I want you to move to the last day of your life, in this life that we are now viewing. And tell me, what do you see? Where do you find yourself?
I've become part of the earth, so my body is kind of unified with the ground, with the soil. So I'm lying there, but I'm part of it. So there's no really separation anymore from my body, but I'm still there where the tree used to be. But I'm the soil. I have become part of it.
Has your body disintegrated, or it's still there, the physical body you used to have?
It has disintegrated. It has become the ground,
okay,
the planet. So
now I see why you felt like you are part of this planet.
Yeah, I was. Yeah,
now
yeah.
we came full circle.
Yes, that's right. So
okay, I see. How does that feel? Becoming one, integrating with the soil itself.
It feels good. It feels peaceful, and yet I miss the forest. But it's okay. It feels how it should be.
So you feel peaceful about it. Okay. So let's drift away now from that life. We're drifting and floating away from that life, leaving this being there to continue on its journey. And I want now the consciousness return to the body and fully integrate back into her current physical body. And from there on, I would like to ask if I have the permission to connect to her inner self.
Yes, you do.
Do I have permission to ask questions?
Yes, you do.
So my first question would be, I know that what we call the inner self or the higher self could have brought forth many different lives to see today, and you choose to bring forward for her today to see the life that she just saw. The question is, why did you pick that lifetime for her today? Why did she needed to see this life?
I wanted her to experience how it feels to be connected with the whole. So this forest for her was a symbol to this interconnection to the whole, to the source. And I wanted her to see that she's part of it, that she's sharing whatever she sees and experiences, she's giving to the whole. And in the same time she's receiving from the whole, and that there is no limitation, and that those roots of the forest, of this part, which is part of the source, are around her and supporting her and giving her shelter. And that's why we were there.
Why was it so necessary for her to feel, experience this today?
Because she has so many questions, and because she doesn't need the answers, because the answers are always being exchanged between her and the source and the whole, and she doesn't even need to ask the questions. And I also wanted to prepare her for what is coming, which will feel differently.
What is that? Is she allowed to know more about what you're saying?
She has to know that it will be different, and yet maybe it will even feel bigger than she has known, and the information will be different in a larger scale maybe. So, but it will be there.
When you say the information, what information you mean?
It's the exchange of light, which is love, of course. So it will be another frequency maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But it will be there, and there's no need to be afraid of what is coming.
Mm. Is that an internal shift that will happen in her body or soul, or is it external shift?
It's both, but it's caused through an external shift. She will have to adjust her body, but that's okay. It will feel unusual, but she can let go of her body. She will find herself in a bigger setting, so it will be okay. She will not need this shelter she has been living in. So
you mean her physical body?
No, we're in the forest, so she was protected.
Mm.
But she will be okay without that protection when she leaves the forest. The forest was where she was until now, but she can step out of the forest and she will be safe there too. It will be okay out there.
How will she know what will be the right steps, the right path to follow?
Patience, and she will have to look to the light. She will always follow the light. The light will be guiding her.
You mentioned an external shift. Could you talk more about it? What shift and when?
So she has been observing those people, those beings, those creatures, moving, agitating, but she was not part of them. And yet she felt okay being there at the side and seeing them. They will be gone soon, so she will be really alone. So this is the shift.
What do you mean they will be gone and she will be alone? In her current life, how does that translate?
She doesn't need the presence of her colleagues and of a tribe, if you want, to be herself. So yes, this is it.
And so they will fade away from her experience.
They will still be there, they will always be there, but she doesn't need their confirmation to be there. It's like she can let go of them. She doesn't need them anymore. She will find her purpose on her own. She will find her body, her shape, whatever she needs to fulfill in this life.
So when you mentioned external shifts, you mean something that will be in her own environment, not a global event?
Yes. Okay. The global event is too far away. Doesn't make sense in her life right now. It's something she knows it's there, she knows it will happen, but It will not really bother her, at least not for now.
But there is an inner shift that is happening, taking place in her now.
Yes.
She's aware of it, right?
Yes.
Is she afraid of it?
No, she's sad maybe, but she's not afraid.
Why is she sad?
She's sad to leave that forest. It's like saying goodbye to her teachers, becoming her own teacher, and finding everything she needs to find within. So this makes her feel sad because she could acknowledge this outer beauty of the forest, of nature. But she has to find it in herself, this beauty. She will find. She has to understand that the forest is within herself, so that's maybe the biggest shift. She needs to see that stepping out of the forest means actually to stepping inside. So
inside herself, you mean?
Inside herself, and in her she has a forest, she has a jungle, she has a lot, she has all she needs. So this is the shift that she will have to take, to step outside, meaning step inside and letting go of the roots that gave her the life force, that gave her the minerals. So she will find the roots, they have to grow inside her. So this is the path she has to take, to let those roots grow slowly inside her.
Why she never felt that she belonged anywhere on this planet?
She was a spectator, she was outside, she was watching, observing, and she is and she was very, very deeply connected, meaning that she was a root herself, and so she didn't feel part of it because she was part of the bigger, of the big one, of the big whole, whereas she could see the others rushing and being disconnected, so she could not understand why they are rushing, because she was always a root. She is a root. So
that's why she felt different.
That's why she felt different, yes. And she was like deep inside the planet, inside this whole, this source. And she couldn't really get out of the forest because she was part of it. But she could see all the others being outside. And that's why she didn't feel belonging, but the others are the ones that don't belong, or they have not discovered how they can belong. But she always knew that she belongs.
Where?
To the whole, to this huge, it's like a huge tree, a forest. It's a root, it's what's keeping the earth together, it's what's keeping everything together.
So she's deeply connected also with Gaia, with the
Yes.
with the essence of the planet.
Yes. She's the root that is holding Gaia together, and that makes her not easily move on the surface because she is very deeply connected. It's like her feet are on the other side of the planet, whilst her head is on this side. She's around Gaia, around the earth, around this magma inside. So deep her roots are that she can feel the heat of the heart center. She can feel the pulse of the heart center of Gaia. She's highly sensitive. So she's like a seismograph of the earth. This also makes her feel not belonging because she is so sensitive and she can feel all the distractions, and that makes it hard to live a life on the surface. So yeah.
Has he been incarnated upon this planet before with a physical human body?
In another life, you mean?
Was he ever a human before?
Yes, I think she was.
She had the experience of being a human on Earth before. It's not her first time.
Yes, she has.
And how can she then, with all this really, really wonderful information that you shared with her, how can she be of greater service to the whole?
She can learn how to exchange the information she gets from the roots deep in Gaia with the information she gets from above.
She knows how to do that?
She can learn. She will learn. She needs some guidance.
How to connect and how to interpret the information?
Yes, and how to transform it. She has to transform in order to make it visible.
Translate it into words or also creative ways, like art?
It will be new ways. It will be as well words, as well as art, as well as unknown ways of sharing it. She will always be in between.
So she's like a messenger.
Yes,
Would you say
she's
that?
a messenger, but in between it's like the universe. It's like I just had this wordplay of Galaxia and Gaia, so it's kind of a
beautiful.
Kavata, Gaia, Galaxia. I don't know. It's a wordplay, but it's there somewhere in between galaxies and Gaia, and she understands that she's there in between, like a tree that takes from the universe and gives it to Gaia. So she is a tree, but she has to find what kind of seeds she produces so that others can share, can absorb this, that she can share.
When she was a teenager, she had a very strong desire to become a healer. Why? What can you comment on that?
It's very healing to give and to take. So she is taking energy, but she is always taking in order to give it. So she's a healer already. So this makes her artwork the healing force, but her artwork is beyond the art pieces she is making. It is her understanding of Gaia, of the roots, of the forest, which is Gaia. It's like the nerve systems it's like the brain nerve systems of Gaia, those roots. And she can read, she can understand what they're saying, and she can listen and read to other beings, and she can translate. So it doesn't matter how this translation looks like, she can translate. She is maybe a translator, so her language is also in words, but also in states of being, in beauty, in art, in music, in her love to her son. So it has many shapes.
Is that the way she could unlock more of her potential and being an artist?
She can remember these roots of Gaia. This will help her. This will help her to being in art, being art herself. Whatever expression will come, it will be healing. It will be healing for the whole, but it will also be healing for her. She now can always remember the forest. She can touch its roots. This will help her.
Can we explore, if it's appropriate, some kind of trauma, let's say, connected to birth, her birth and her son's birth? Is there anything that we can, you can share with her today, and anything we can do to heal this wound?
She can forgive.
Who?
The mother. We have to separate both births. I can see her mother holding her. She cared. Cannot see more.
And where was the trauma created between those two?
What I can see is a room with a bed and a mother in that bed. She might have lost her child. It might be from the past. So she's holding the baby, but the baby is dead, maybe. She lost her child. It was a long time ago. Mother doesn't want to let that child go. I can feel the sadness. There are other people in the room. They're mourning, and they also are not ready to let it go. So maybe now it's time to let this newborn go, because it's okay. It's a star already a long time ago, so it's time to let it go. It's time to let it go. The unborn, no, it's the newborn. So it's maybe me. So it's okay to leave, and it's okay to let the others behind. Let my mother behind, my father, which is my grandfather, maybe. So they will be fine.
And you will be fine.
And I will be fine.
You are
Yeah.
protected, aren't you?
I'm looking forward actually to being released and to return to where I belong. They were holding me back for a long time.
Holding you back, what do you mean?
So, as I understand now, I was that baby.
Their sorrows was holding.
Yes, they were not prepared to let me go. The death. They were not prepared for death. I was. They weren't. So they were holding me back.
So there was a part of you still there, trapped.
Yes.
Yeah. But now you can go.
I asked them for permission to let me go. So.
What did they say?
Yeah. My mother lets her arms go. She releases me. She was clinching to me. She lets me go. She is tired of holding me back. She wants to sleep. She is very exhausted. So it's okay to let me go. So this is the trauma of my own birth. So this is also the trauma of giving birth to my own child. I still had to die one more time before I could really enter this world and live my life. So birth has always been my portal to death, and yet hopefully now birth can be birth and death can be death. Both are portals, but they mean different things. You enter through birth, this life, but actually you leave the whole. So I was confused because I was still being kept back. I think now I have more clarity about what it means to be born and what it means to die. Although this I have always known, but they didn't let me die. So now I finally can die, which is a big relief. This is all to be said about this for now.
That's more than enough. That's wonderful. I think it sheds a lot of light and understanding and connects the dots so that she can have a better understanding on this deep, deep question. In terms of healing, is there anything needed to be done in her physical body? Any residue of that trauma that remains that we could release?
For her, she feels now a big emptiness. It is as if she actually has given birth again, because she could let go of herself, of her life than when she was a newborn. So it feels like her womb is empty, like after giving birth. So she can caress her womb and bring a lot of tenderness and give it time to fill this hole that always is there after giving birth. It will be filled with softness and tenderness and love. She will need a lot of love, and she can take a pillow and hug it. She can hug herself. She can do what she has been doing, but maybe now focus more on her womb, on her belly, on her navel, on her root chakra. It will be open. She will feel very vulnerable, so she should be aware of that. She should not expose herself to people that have violent energies for the next time. So she will know what to do, but really feel that warmth and let it be filled. Let it fill her lower part of the body, which is between her root chakra and her solar chakra. So this is her most sensitive part right now of her body.
And is that connected to the sensitivity that she was feeling in the abdominal area? Like, I mean, all these things that we
Yes, it
uncovered.
was like she was carrying a child.
She felt. She said
Oh.
I wrote down that she was feeling as if she was carrying stuff, which I couldn't explain.
Yeah, it was
Oh.
actually her dead child. Well, her being dead in the womb. So that is what she was carrying. And she could not digest because it wasn't her that could not digest. It was her then mother in that other life that she was living. That mother, which was maybe her grandmother. So now, once that mother could let her go, release her, let her be born, even if she was dead, but even that was a birth. So now she can digest again, and it can flow. The energy can flow there again.
Amazing. Beautiful. Thank you. I know she's really going to appreciate it. It was the time had come for this, right? She was ready for this.
Yes, she was. She was. She could take the sadness of the pain she caused. So she knows that the other people have to take responsibility of their own lives. It's not her responsibility. She has learned her lesson about that, so she is good for this information now.
Okay, a few more questions. One is about dragons. She would like to know if appropriate or necessary more information about her guide, dragon guide. And in general, perhaps her connection with the dragons.
Okay, now that she has released this blockage that was in her womb, already the dragons have come to fill and to help.
Wow.
And to fill this space that she has created. So the dragons have a lot of energy. The dragons have a lot of power and a lot of heat. So this heat is good heat. It's creation. It is like the heat you need to cook. It's the heat you need to create. So
the fire energy.
It's the fire energy that now finally can burn within her. So it has been a very dim, very small fire. Now she has had to put a lot of energy and a lot of nutrition from outside to keep this fire ongoing, but now she has a lot of space. So what happens now? The dragons are free to come. They are looking forward. They are there. They are kind of quite wild, and she is embracing this wildness. She has been waiting for this wild fire energy within her, and now they can be part of her, because so far they were around her, but she could not let them in because that space was still filled with that former life of hers that could not leave her body. So now there is a lot of space, and she really wants to have the dragons there. She is part of them, so this is her tribe. She is part of the dragons. She is maybe also a dragon. She has the hair of a dragon, so she has known that she is a dragon for a long time, but there was no space for those dragons. So now they are in there. I can see the red dragon, which is the one with the most fire, has come into her. She has lit the fire inside, but there are also the blue dragon there helping her, guiding her. It will be very important, this blue dragon and other dragons, but the red one has filled the space now. It is moving inside her, so she can feel already the energy moving from inside to the outside. So it is the same energy she could feel in the forest. So this is why she had the memory of that former life. This is what she remembers now, was what she saw before in that former life. She is in a deep and intense exchange of light energy, like flashes, like light strokes, like emanations out of her body. So this will bring to her a lot of creative energy. She can let it become wild, and she can trust that this wildness will be benevolent and healing. So this is a lot of healing going on. Any sense of light that is emanating and emanating will always bring healing. So this is the lesson she has learned from this former life today.
Beautiful, thank you so much. Another question is about the Akashic wisdom, and if she should get access to this.
So the dragons, they will prepare the path to the Akashic wisdom for her. So since there's such a strong force and energy, it will be a very fast journey to that wisdom and knowledge. And yes, she will get access. She will enter those temples. She can already see now the Akashic temples, but she can trust that the dragons will guide her and lead her in there. So she can see them already, the temples. They are waiting for her, and she can see the door. She can see the portal. She can enter it if she likes.
Does she know what to do with the information? Is there any advice?
She will know that it will help her to understand her mission here. So being creation or a being in between So both the lower worlds, which is Gaia and her roots, the roots or the neural system of Gaia, and entering the Akashic wisdom means to connect. And this will take time that she can actually process all this knowledge that will come through her. So for now, what she needs to know is that it's all about beauty, and she will see a lot of beauty that she can maybe transform into art. If there is more than that, then that will be part of this knowledge that she will access. It will show itself in beauty. So I can feel it's like a magnet, a very strong magnet pulling me towards this library that is there behind that portal with all that knowledge. She can go there. It's safe for her to go there. If she wants, she can go.
There's one question about a vision of her heart that she had, and she had to divide it into two in order to let the energy and life force flow. Is that the question that is necessary, and you want to say something about?
I can tell her that yes, this is how it is. So one heart is the heartbeat of Gaia, the other heart is the heartbeat of this galaxy, and this is why she can feel both hearts and why she needs both hearts, because she is the connection of both. So she is both, and to bring those two hearts and the heartbeats into harmony, this is the mission of her being here in this life. So she can listen to both heartbeats, and she will learn to listen to both of them simultaneously, and she will hear that song which will be perfection. It's the song of perfection. It is perfection to hear both rhythms of both hearts, of both worlds, of all the worlds. So she has seen and found her mission already, and she can now see that those lines going up and down in her artwork she was asking about, these are the connecting lines that she has between those two worlds, and she will always feel this magnet down and the magnet to the up. So now I have, since the time is running out, I will move on to the next question.
Thank
you. Already.
Yes, thank you.
Now about Africa. So
yeah.
It is about the equator. So this is also why she is asking, because she can feel the energies to the South Pole and to the North Pole, and she is the equator. And so asking about the role of Africa, this is the role of Africa, bringing balance to those two poles, and it is all about this equator line, and it is all around the earth. So it will not only be Africa, but Africa is a very, very old wisdom, a very strong energy of balance and harmony. So at the root of the Nile, which is where she comes from, Africa and Kenya specifically, so this is the crown chakra of the Nile. So she has access to that part, she can feel that energy very strongly, and also to the south. And so this will be the awakening also, and the power of Africa, because it has this very strong roots also to Gaia So it is also the cradle, as we all know, of humankind. So this is a very, very strong source to dive into, and she can always access it through meditation, asking to allow to dive into the source of the Nile, which is there deep within her.
Is there anything you would like to share about the role of the dragons in the on the planetary level?
So the dragons are like a catalysator of the planetary energy, so they can enforce any energies, and they can focus, and they can help to focus, and they also know how to place the energies to the right spots on the planet. So you can call them like they are like doctors, but more like healers or like acupuncturists. They know where to put the needles into Gaia so that the energy can flow, and sometimes those needles are like beings, so maybe she is like a needle, and if she asks the dragons to work with her, so it's about putting that needle into the right spot to help Gaia and to help the whole healing of the planet. So this is what dragons are about to, or this is the mission of the dragons here.
Mm-hmm. Is that connected to her mission?
Yes, they will help put her in place to, if you want, put her in her, or in the equator line of the galaxy and Gaia. So the dragons are here to give her all the support they have to find her best expression of both of this energy between. She is the one between, so she, if you want, she does not channel, because that would mean she would be from one part, but she is always from both parts. So please remember that she has two hearts, and she always has to keep both hearts alive. This is maybe the most important message I have for her today.
Mm-hmm. May I ask two more questions?
Yes, of course.
Okay, thank you. Any information about, or any advice, about how to help support her son in the best possible way?
Her son has a lot of light energy within him. Her son is very strong. Her son is supporting her a lot also, so she is giving him a lot of love. He knows what he needs to know. He has a lot of star energy in him, so he might be a star seed.
How can she support him in his mission, in his path?
She can hold his space very, very diligently, very tenderly. She can let him shine. She will, she already does support him and give him safety.
And the last thing I wanted to ask is about her artistical path. If she's on the right artistical path, and if there's any advice for her upcoming show.
She will enter new paths. She doesn't know yet. It will come when it comes. This space she has created today will be filled with a lot of creativity. She has to let go of her fear of not being enough. She will let go once her womb will be filled with life again. She will also find her art she has found, and she will evolve from that. She will expand it. She will bring it to full blossom. It will be like a flower opening, like a lily. So she won't like hearing this, but it is trust and patience that I have for her right now.
Is there any last message?
So she will have many ways to get access to her inner or higher or true self. She will remember she can enter the forest anytime. She can dive or go enter this source inside her, which is the source of the Nile. She can come back to where we have been today anytime and continue her journey. She is already on her journey. She has been all along. So she knows. I wish her well. We all know. She knows. We can come to a close now.